Is it a fling or is it a ting?
Yeah.
We're here to let you know.
Dun, dun.
So here's the thing.
Basically, in a nutshell, we're talking about relationships and situationships, or on is it like
A fling
or
or a ting? Like a ting.
Is it a real relationship? Is it
Yes.
something that you're gonna have to take seriously? A person that you see a future with?
Substantial.
But okay, but it always, I feel like it always starts out as a fling, unless it's like
Really?
unless it is like a conversation that's had like, okay, I'm gonna court you, we're gonna date because I want to either marry you or I want you to be my girl. It always starts out as a fling. It sounds crazy,
Really?
especially when it's like emotional.
Okay, wait,
like
hold on.
you had it. It's a fling.
Can you
initially.
define fling for me, for you?
For me, for you, I think that a fling is when you meet someone and then like you're feeling them and they're feeling you, and you either enter into what is a sexual relationship or you enter into a relationship with them and you're with them all the time, you're hanging out, like you like hot and heavy, but you don't have to be hot and heavy. But it's essentially a fling because there's no,
Friends with benefits.
friends with benefits. Like, so there's-
FWBs. That's what I think flings are. If you're not getting no benefits, to me it's not a fling. We friends.
I mean,
So
I
friends,
don't
fling,
know.
ting.
I don't know because
That's
I
how
feel
we
like if you get
level
my
up.
It could be like an emotional thing.
yeah, if you're getting my intellect and you're getting my thought and you are getting my emotions, it is a fling because there's emotional relationships and there are physical relationships. And me, emotional relationships are very.
You still
rare.
my friend.
I mean, we can be friends,
still
but like
my friend.
we're almost more than friends if I'm always telling you my thoughts and my emotions. Then that's creating a bigger relationship.
If it's somebody you just met and you're already like telling them like your deepest, darkest secrets.
Then it's a fling.
That's a friend.
That's a fling. That's a fling.
That is a friend.
And be like, you know what?
What? Okay, so to me, like fling is
Because
like
you be cupcaking on the phone.
fling is like flingy. Like fling has an expiration point. It's like
you talking about
milk.
flick?
It's like eggs.
Oh my
You
God.
can't keep that thing in the refrigerator for too long.
She's talking about produce.
I am.
It's not.
If you hold banana out here, like you're not gonna last long on my counter. You might last a little bit longer in the fridge.
So you want him to be a
I might
pepper.
put you on ice.
You want him to be a vegetable.
I had you on ice, but then
I let the
are you
ice
gonna sink or
in.
swim? Like
Double my cup again. It doesn't make. I feel like I don't know. I feel like you can still have a fling and not have sex. You can have a fling and not be sexual.
in my mind, I can't imagine. I can't visualize what that looks like.
Situational.
How long does it take you to like trust somebody enough to like tell them stuff like that?
2 weeks.
It depends on how, like, it depends on the person, honestly. Like,
What's
if
the
they're giving
fastest?
off,
What's
if
the
they're,
fastest that you ever-
first of all, let me just pause for a second. If you ever see me reach up in slow motion to my face or my hair, it's because essentially I lost a bet and I had to do 50 push-ups and I didn't like quite understand what that actually was gonna be like.
I tried to
so
massage
did
it and it hurt her.
It hurts. So if I'm doing this, like, don't laugh. But no, I feel like for
as far as you
someone
can go.
to open up to me or to me to open up and reciprocate, it really depends on the person. It depends on
But what's the fastest
the
that you've
vibes.
opened up to someone?
If you know the vibes and I know the vibes.
She's not answering.
What? Wait. What's the question?
How fast has it taken you to open up to somebody and give them like the deepest, darkest secrets?
Deepest, darkest?
Or like your thoughts?
At least 3 months.
I like
Deepest,
3
darkest.
months?
Deepest, darkest. 3
Complete
months.
honesty?
Not even deep,
3 months?
deepest, darkest secrets.
3 months?
Deepest, darkest. 3 months.
2
Yes.
weeks. 2 weeks.
I'm not telling you my deep.
I'm an
okay.
open book
Fine.
by that point. You know me. If we're spending every day together, this is if we're spending every day, we're talking every day, then all of a sudden I feel you on a different level. Like I'm like, oh.
I will feel you on a different level, but you said deepest, darkest.
3
when it
months,
comes to deepest, darkest,
90
like
full days
the
where you
depths
open
of
up
my
to somebody?
soul, the depths of your soul, though.
No, but not
every
the
like
depths.
deep. He
No.
said deepest, darkest. To me,
I said
that's 3 months.
But
Like I gotta
has
see
it
you.
taken
I gotta see
90
you.
days?
I gotta see you. You know what I'm saying? Like with clothes on. I gotta
Have
see you
y'all
with a
ever
shirt
watched-
off.
have
I gotta
y'all
see you
ever-
sleep. I gotta
No.
see how you drink your drink.
How you
I
gonna
gotta see
sleep?
all that stuff.
How you gonna see him sleep?
Because we gonna be sleep.
No.
And we spent it. We no.
It's a tell.
You
It's
love
a
the
tell.
relationship?
It's a
No.
tell. You obviously in a situationship by the 90 days.
But see, no, but
You
what's
in
tripping me
that-
up? What's tripping me up is the deepest, darkest secrets.
Okay,
because
so
like
wait.
I can.
Scratch that.
Okay, scratch
Now we're
it.
scratching that?
'Cause that was me. That was me. You're right. That was me.
When do I get to complete honesty with somebody?
Honestly, when-
Yeah, when you start
when you
talking,
feel
you talking on the phone, and he asking you questions, you answering them questions. How?
A month.
A month. Okay, 4 weeks. So 2 weeks prior to me, I'm out here with it. But like, I just feel like after a certain amount of time, you start to just open up to people, you start to talk to them, then it has potential to be a fling, like emotional or physical.
I just never have heard of an emotional fling. Maybe that's just me in my own isolated bubble, but I can't imagine having an emotion. Like, to me, I guess when I think of fling, I think of like action. I think of like you flinging
Alright.
a body away from me because I'm done with you.
Think of it like this. Like emotional cheating, like you can cheat with somebody
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yes.
You can have a fling with somebody emotionally.
Truth.
It's
I guess I see where y'all are going with it. For me, that's just like, we real cool. we real cool.
Friends.
But
I
like,
don't
to
know.
me, fling, for some reason, I equate that with some sort of physical interaction. And it has an
understand.
expiration date. So I can't say,
I
oh,
understand that.
I guess I can say, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's a fling, unless it already happened. I'd be like, oh, that was a fling.
Unless sex happened,
It doesn't have to be sex.
but something like intimate happened.
Right, something intimate.
Okay, like a kiss or something like that.
Right.
To where you
Like, where
break
you're
the
like-
barrier between friend and friend.
Yes, because we can all sit here and lie and say, including myself, we can lie and sit here and say, oh yeah, that's my friend. But if you cross any one of those physical boundaries,
Yeah.
that's not your friend. I don't kiss Shanice.
Yeah, we don't.
We friends. And yes, she's a woman, but like if she were like a dude, like if
Like
that was really my
man-wise.
friend, I wouldn't kiss you.
Yes.
So it's like
It's one of those things where I feel where Jessica's coming from, because there is like a certain for certain people, relationships and those type of things, they depend on certain actions to happen
Right.
prior to like the relationship being like defining the relationship.
Yeah.
See, for me, and I feel like that's why like that is an extended point, and why I feel like cheating is a whole other thing for me, because I feel like we can be like having a conversation, we could be within a fling in the first few weeks if we're talking and spending all this time together and we're exchanging these, I feel like it's intimate feelings whenever
See,
you're
that's
talking to
deep.
people, you know what I mean? It's like if
Yeah.
I'm letting you in, it's deeper than like a physical interaction. You're getting to know who I am. You can kiss me and not know me, straight up, like you know what I mean? But for you to talk to me and learn what makes me tick, that like brings me closer to you. So that's why I call it an emotional
But see,
fling.
that's why I guess I call fling what I call it, because
Yeah.
for me personally, if I ever get physical with you in any way, it's because there was something emotional that happened
Yeah.
prior to that.
Understood.
So for me, it's like a whole
Understood.
package. Like you already got me here, so now we here with it,
Yeah.
and now I'm like flingy with it. Or it could be
We
a
fling
ting. It could be a ting, but flings have like a time frame.
They do.
That you gonna get
Flings-
moldy and
flings-
expired.
That's why I was wondering, because flings to me die out within 90 days. Like if nothing happens, within the first 3 months, I'm counting you. I'm writing you off. Like that was fun, but I'm bored now
Yeah.
because nothing's happening, and I can't continue to do the same thing. So
Right.
if it's not a ting, if it's not a relationship, if it's not like something that I can commit to, then obviously I wasted my time. So if I start falling off, or if you don't hear from me, it's because we wasted way too much time. I've already, second week, I'm talking to you. Like we learn
go
each other.
together,
We're learning
essentially.
each other. And so if you know me and you still ain't like jumped on the bandwagon or whatever, obviously like you not for me. So I'm gonna just keep on pushing. So flings don't last long for me. Like 6 months, I would barely say 9 months.
But see, that's like, oh, it's just so confusing, because like
I don't have time.
if you a fling, and then hindsight's 2020, right? So
Yeah.
you have a fling, and let's say, because I think summer is prime time for flings. Like
It is.
You might not even do it on purpose. You might think that it might be something
Fall
like tingy,
to summer.
but it's definitely
For
a
me,
fling.
Summer.
Spring. They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you
I
in the
said fall
spring.
to summer, but it's summer to spring, summer to fall.
It's cuffing season.
Yes, we have established that in our first video.
Yeah.
Ever.
But yeah, I feel like fall for me is like my time. Like fall is like that one season where it's like the weather is changing. I'm feeling more cuddly. I'm feeling more like affectionate.
You need a ting.
Yeah, I need that.
But
You
in
know
the
what I mean?
summer, you feeling real flingy because
I don't really need that because there's a lot of that around here. So like my senses are being fulfilled by other things.
But the way that door opens up around May.
Yeah.
It's a short window to capture your fling, and it's also a very short window to establish whether or not it's going to graduate to a teen. And 9 times out of 10 it doesn't, because flings happen during the summer, and summer is a fleeting mood. Like you gonna be the sun's out, like you halfway naked,
we
like
other pools, we see different people.
There's no way. I'm not gonna say there's no way, but the chances of you establishing something like substantial are very low during that season. And I just feel like
unless we like on it, like unless we're spending every day like communicating, I'm seeing you every few days, like it's like something that we're both working on.
But see,
I don't see that becoming like a relationship. I see that strictly being
I've been in a fling where we were like on it.
Yeah.
Throughout the summer, we were on top of things like I'm gonna see you today, I'm gonna see you tomorrow, I'm gonna see you next day, I'm gonna see you the next day, I'm gonna see you the day after that. We're gonna do all these things, and it's gonna be a team. And then it takes like one little thing
Don't answer your phone
to just downgrade it to just a regular fling. And I really, and we talked about this before, I really feel like it's like a mammalistic. Is that a word?
Minimalistic, like a
No, ma'am. Mammalistic.
Manimal. Because it's like a man. Well,
A mammal. What's a manimal? What is that? Yo, I just farted. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
I was thinking about animals. I was thinking about the yogurt.
Animals?
No,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I can't spell anything.
Good. Okay.
I just couldn't.
That is honestly like really embarrassing.
What is that?
Oh my god.
What is
My
that?
coworker gave that to me.
Milk and honey, y'all.
It's hand sanitizer, but it really kills like any like foul scents. So I just sprayed it.
I'm really weak.
But like I was saying, mammalistic, and we can look that up.
She said it.
Manimal?
Lipstick.
Justin, look that
I knew
up.
I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't.
It's not mammal, it's minimalistic.
I knew
What
I
is a
wasn't crazy.
manimal?
But I was thinking of Danimals.
What is a manimal?
That's not.
Well, because manimal isn't the word, but when you pluralize it,
When you add,
it's like adding ing.
No, see, you both of y'all are wrong.
I'm not.
Write
You
it.
are. Animalistic
Okay, right.
is a word.
Just write it.
I wasn't saying that though, because that's like animal.
animalistic.
I did, and it told me animalistic. They said, did you mean animalistic?
Well,
So technically, mammalistic isn't a word either.
so we both made that up. Y'all, this is actually good hand sanitizer, and it smells really good.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Y'all, I'm so weak.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing I smelled. So
basically, what we learned is, stay in school. Both of those words were not words. Animalistic is the word. Mammalistic is the new word that I just kept with it. And I was just saying,
minimalistic.
like when you, our nature.
Keep going.
No, I forgot.
No.
I actually forgot.
Okay, well, it's fine.
Our nature is
It is
that. it's a whole thing. And mammalistically,
We're built to make connections.
Okay.
right, we are built to make connections. Now, whether those connections last a long time,
Yeah.
is really up to us.
I think that what's really funny about me is I've learned myself, like I have seasonal flings, not because like I'm out here for them, like I'm out here to just talk to somebody for a moment, but I recognize I kind of change, I evolve in seasons, right? So in my past, not currently, but like there would be seasons where I'd be like with someone, I'd really be feeling them, but then like in the next season, I was just totally disconnected. And so what would happen is we would just kind of fade out. So it was more of a fling. Even
so you
if it
recognize that?
Yeah, even if it wasn't like a sexual connection or anything like that. But it was just because who I am and how I'm created, I wasn't made to continue with that person. That was just a situation.
Into the next season.
Yeah, and so I do feel like we're all kind of, in a sense, like we're built for flings and we're built for relationships. We're built to learn people and take from their knowledge and then grow.
Carry that on to the next stage.
Yeah, because I mean, that's kind of where I've been. Like when I really think about like my past and like my dating pattern, I would date people, but I wasn't dating them to like be like physical with them. I was dating them to learn. And I was really confused by that myself. Like why would I date this person for only so long and then we would just like kind of break up? Yeah, but I think that when you said animalistic or minimalistic, it's one of those things where, you know, we kind of crave something, right? I crave intellect. I crave those type of like relationships where it's like either super wild, attractive, crazy, or it's like really intellectual. And then and that's selfish, but once I've gotten what I need, I'm like, okay, like I really enjoyed
that.
this.
Was nice. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
but I think,
thank you.
In my mind, my logic on that is, I feel like if the person that I was involved with was trying to progress that situation, I probably wouldn't have come to that conclusion to be like, okay, thank you for that. Yeah. I'm moving on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they were like, oh, I'm trying to go here with it, I've been like, oh, okay, yeah, like that sounds like legit. Like, yeah, let's do that. But because there's a time frame for them to offer that, we're just kind of like, okay, well, now I'm gonna put you in this box because you only give me this, so now you are a fling and not a ting.
And that's what we were talking about. We were out eating, and I just feel like most men, they have these ideas of what they want in relationships, but they don't verbalize them, and that's why they don't end up working out, or some men end up resenting their women because they're not out here telling us what they actually want. I feel like most women, we're very verbal with it, and so men, you sitting back here, you got this thought, you got this idea, you know, you got this mind frame of how your woman gonna be whenever you get into this relationship. You hear, and now she's not doing what you want her to do. Now you resenting and you mad and you acting out, but we don't know why. And so that's why I feel like certain like relationships or tings end up as flings. Like there's a disconnect with the communication.
Because I feel like people can only communicate people choose to only communicate to a certain level. So it's like, yeah, like we can get to the point where we say, you know what, I like you. You know, I think you're attractive. You're funny. Like, you cute. Okay, great. But then when you want to get to the nitty gritty of things, people kind of like close off that higher tier of communication. So then you have nowhere else to go but down, back to a fling.
Yeah, now I gotta leave you because I don't know where we're going from here.
Right, and I think women sometimes too, honestly, get stuck in that trap of like being like, shoot, like I don't know what he's like. I don't know what he's thinking like right now, so I'm not gonna really say too much because he might think that I'm like doing too much. Yeah, you know, or I'm going over the top, or I'm expecting
I don't want to be over the top with him. I want him to feel like I'm still like that cool,
like I'm chill. Yeah.
So
we're not chilling at this point. We're not chill. We're not cool.
We're freaking out.
Yeah.
Mentally, we're like, I have so many things I want to ask, so many things I want to do, but I don't want to say it because I don't want him to think of me as somebody different. I don't want him to think that I'm pressing him.
But see, that's where I feel like that's where we go wrong. And what?
Honestly, guys feel the exact same way though.
What?
Okay, let's unpack that.
Expound upon that.
So, let's say we're kicking it, right? And we know we both having fun where we at. So if
that's so annoying. I know where you're going with this. Okay, go ahead.
If we try to take it to the next level, we're thinking like, yo, I like where we at, but if I try to do this is gonna get.
It might ruin it.
It's
but
like,
that's
it's kind of like
crazy.
asking your friend out. Like your long-time friend, you start liking that person. like I want to ask them out because I like them, but like I don't want to run this friendship. It's kind of like on that level, in a way. Like I was saying earlier, like you know, we're in a fling, and I kind of want to move to the next.
You want to graduate to a Ting.
You want to get out of that zone.
But I don't want to approach it like that because I don't want. Also, I don't want this to end.
But see, that's the thing. I feel like if you did approach it, if you, not you specifically, but if a man built that confidence to say, I don't really care what her reaction is going to be, I'm going to let her know how I feel.
Or if a woman built that confidence and said,
It's both ways.
it really is both ways. Like,
But see, how are we supposed to know? If a man is supposed to lead, right? That's what we were talking about. Biblical stands say man is a leader in the relationship. Not saying he's the end all, but saying like we look to you for that answer. So if you come to me and you say, I want this in our relationship, I actually want to be in a relationship with you, that gives me a chance to be like, you know what, that is crazy because I actually think the same thing. But because there's so much pride in there, because there's so much ego in there.
But the pride goes both ways.
Yeah, are you sure it's fear? We're gonna call it fear because I don't think it's fear.
It's a mix of fear and pride. Like,
I feel like it's more pride.
Embarrassed, rejected, like nobody willingly goes into a situation
But that's like
that.
ego. That's your ego talking.
Men fear rejection too.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like there is a way out of that by speaking your thoughts, you know, by speaking how you feel on both ends.
Yeah.
And so that's why relationships never really work.
But that has to be established in the beginning.
But how?
And then, see, that's the thing. You have to build that
Let's talk
level
about
of comfortability. Like, okay, I'm just thinking of like, I'm thinking of stuff that
But
situations that I've been in where it's like, I feel like we probably both feel like we are very comfortable enough with each other to be like, hey, this is like where I'm at with it. But it literally takes two to come to that middle ground and be like, this is how I feel. This is how I feel.
This is where I want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we cool with that? Yay or nay? And then
Yeah.
you also have to have the strength enough to accept whatever that response is. And I think, like we were saying just now, is like there's a lot of ego involved, and I can't just put that all on men. Like women have an ego too, like especially women of a certain
stature.
Exactly. Like if you if you not used to being like shut down or not used to being like
I'm not used to being
sought
thirsty.
after.
Yeah, I'm not about to call you.
You're gonna be more okay
I can
with the
straight up say
rejection.
that's me. Like if I'm not used to always calling a man, if I'm not used to always reaching out and I'm used to him chasing me, there's a certain line that I'm gonna cross, right? Like I'm not gonna go past the line of desperation. What I think is desperation.
Right.
I'm not gonna call you again if I've already called you one time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna text you. I'm not gonna double text you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna double text you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually let you go, even if it hurts me. Like even if it makes me feel like, man, like I really could be missing
Like,
out.
did he really like me or not?
Yeah,
Like,
I'd much rather miss out than embarrass myself. At the end of the day.
and men, I feel like men feel the same way. And so, like, it's like we're both expecting the same things from each other, men and women. But in some situations, we're not willing to come together on it.
To actually communicate that.
But see, I feel, and
But we can communicate everything else though.
Right.
Like people can get into whole entire like third base physical situations and
You can
not
fully
talk and
have
communicate
sex. That's
about
crazy.
everything that you need to discuss
That
to
is
move
crazy.
forward. So like no wonder you get stuck in a fling when
Yeah.
you can physically communicate how you feel,
I hate
but emotionally, mentally, verbally emulate or communicate that.
so much. Like think about how crazy that sounds. I can
sounds
kiss
stupid.
you and I can be affectionate with you.
That's so
but
dumb.
I can't tell you how I feel. I can't reach out to you and be like, hey, I miss you because I'm afraid that you might not miss me back. Like that's crazy.
Or they don't want to, or
it's real.
or
girl.
they don't want to say anything because they're still trying to figure out, they're still trying to sort out their emotions.
Yeah.
And before they can be vulnerable enough with you, they want to get all that stuff straightened out on the inside first. So it's like, am I hitting a nerve here? It's annoying though. What?
At least for me personally, it's difficult for me to be vulnerable because, you know, there's issues that can be created.
Issues like what?
For me personally, in the past, like
You've been rejected before. You've been
It's not
hurt
even-
before.
it's not even like I'm rejected.
Disappointed before.
Disappointed.
Okay.
On, like, so I'll try to like.
I feel like
push
Jada.
those boundaries.
Okay.
I try to push those boundaries.
Sorry.
To get to a place that you wanted to be. Okay.
And
But see, that's understandable.
I'm always open communicating that with people.
You feel like that now you are?
Yeah.
Just to let it be known from the top.
Like, this is what I'm looking for. And you could-
But see,
But
that's
what
how it
stops
should
you
be.
is what happened in your past. So what stops you from kind of veering off to what you're used to, or not what you're used to, but what you're comfortable with, is where you've been. And you're like, oh, I've been right here, and that right there hurts.
That was traumatic
This
for
is
me.
as far as I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay, see, and I mean, I'm the same, right? And so it's like, at one point, who's gonna be the bigger person? And hop their little happy butt over the line and be like, I'm here. And I love you. I like you a lot.
Strongly like.
I strongly like you.
I think for the right person, anybody would do that.
But how do you know who's the right person unless you...
When you go against everything inside of you that's telling you to not be vulnerable, to not open up, to not tell them how you feel.
Let me play devil's advocate right here.
Okay.
So how is it... I bet... I have to say this.
Pause.
Go ahead, finish.
I bet that it's not the right person, but it's the right time for you yourself. Because it's not a person who makes you change. It's you who decides, I'm not going to be this way anymore. I'm not going to be afraid anymore because I feel confident and ready now.
But someone might give you the courage to do that.
Yeah.
And that
you
might not
yourself.
mean that person is for you, but maybe that person awakens that fire inside of you.
But see, I feel like it's you yourself. I never feel like another person motivates you or like leads you to a decision more than you yourself do. Because you make the decision yourself, right? You be sitting by yourself and you be like, I'm gonna text them. They don't text you and egg you on like, you can do it, you can ask me, you can let me know.
But it's not
you.
them actually saying anything.
It's not the person. It's you. It's how you feel about them and how comfortable they made
It's how
you.
they impact you. It's how they impact you.
Yes, but it's you at the end of the day. So it's never a person that's right, that it's right for. It's you in the moment. It's you who has evolved into this place that says, I'm not scared anymore. I am ready for this. And then it's like, because this person makes me feel this way, it's all about you.
But the person makes you feel that way.
Yes, but
some
it's
people
you.
might not make you feel that way enough.
Right, true, but I feel like it comes to a point in your life that you say, I'm ready for this because of this. Like, yes, another person may be a part of the reason, but at the end of the day, it's you evolving. And I feel like that's like a big point for myself, because we always think it's another person that changes us, but truthfully, it's what happens inside of us, in our mind first, initially, before we even make a step. It's not Henry, Charlotte, Erica, you know what I mean? It's me. It's me and my thoughts that say, hey, I'm ready now. Not them who made me ready. Just saying, that's just my thought.
Because you're saying if they were to leave your life, you would still have that same mentality at that point.
Exactly, because you would now have the strength in yourself.
But that person in that point in your life helped you grow.
Right. I agree 100%. I do agree with that. I just think that it's you yourself that changes and not someone that changes you.
I think you're saying the same thing. Definitely.
Maybe.
Kinda. I think it's a joint thing. It's a divine experience that's happening where you're at a place in your life where you're ready to accept someone who's at whatever level that they're at, and you're welcoming whatever they're offering. And kind of like, even though I'm really frustrated by him, like with The Bachelor, with Colton. He in that moment decided that like, you're trying to leave me, I want you, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get you, even if you don't want me back.
She made him feel a way, but it was him who felt that way. It wasn't her feelings that made him feel that way. Because if you remember, her feelings were opposite for him. She didn't know about him, but she made him feel.
It was how she impacted him. Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I do get y'all's point in saying like, hey, it's another person that makes you feel this way, but I do think that there is something inside of you that changes, you know? It's like something in you. It's like the way that I look at it, it's like a job, right? You know how we level up, we get more money, we get different promotions, and it's all because of the fact that we're evolving and we're changing and we're growing. There's no way that we're starting from minimum wage to $18 an hour to $22 an hour to a $75,000 a year salary.
And we're exactly the same the whole way through.
It's every job, right, that trains us and that motivates us and that drives us, but it's also us that says, I'm going to be better in this job, I'm going to be better in this job, and I'm going to be better in this job, and nobody's going to beat me. Nobody's going to beat out my drive. No one. So eventually I'm going to make this amount of money, or I'm going to be this successful because I decided. So it's like when you're in a relationship, I'm not letting go of this because I decided that I wanted more.
Right.
You know? Oh, hi.
Hi, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Are y'all recording?
No, you're fine.
We are. Welcome.
What y'all doing?
We're recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We were talking about relationships.
Welcome to our TED Talk.
And how, yeah, you gotta yank it out. You gotta be strong. But we were talking about, and maybe you could help with this too. We were talking about how they believe that other people in relationships change you for the better, right? In a sense of saying, I want to commit to this person because they make me feel, or because I'm this way.
Versus being like stopped by like something that happened in your past, like instead of being
Like a traumatic situation holding you back from
like being
better.
to commit.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you say again? Say it again.
Okay, but basically I was saying that I feel like it's me, right? Like it's me who decides I'm gonna commit to this person before I've committed to anybody else, because I've decided not to be this way anymore. I've decided not to be afraid. And now I feel like the factors can be the person that I'm with made me feel this way and motivated me to believe that they won't hurt me. But I think that at the end of the day, it's what's working deep down in my soul that makes me more confident, is me believing more in myself, and not, I don't want to ever give somebody else the credit for a strength that we find in ourselves. Because
But I feel like that, I feel like that's like a human-like thing to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I can compare it to, like me being like,
yeah, like
Yeah.
I was thinking about jobs.
Yeah.
Essentially.
like, or for me, I was thinking about just relationships in general. Like, I used to be like, oh, I'm not really like touchy-feely. I'm not really like,
Yeah.
cuddleable.
What is it?
Cuddleable. I'm not cuddleable at all. But then I found myself later down the line with somebody else, like, wow, like I'm really comfortable doing this. So it's like, it's not that those things aren't within you, but it takes a certain person to awaken that inside of you.
100%.
And so you, in a way, it's already there, but you have to give the person or the experience
Credit.
or whatever credit for allowing you to see that within yourself.
True.
So everything might already be in there, but unless you acknowledge the fact that it's there in someone or something
to unlock it.
Right. Because not
Understood.
everyone
They
can make me
factors.
feel the same way.
Like you take something from each person. And you,
Yeah.
So like that person helped you move past that line.
So they're a factor, but they're not a reason. Like, and I think that's me, right? That doesn't mean that I'm right. It doesn't. I won't say that like my way is the way. I'm just saying I do feel like these people are factors, but they're at the end of the day not the relying reason, because at the end of the day,
Because you can always come back.
if I leave them, if I move on, I can still take that same mentality and use it to my next relationship without that person. And that's only because they were a factor in my growth, but they were not the reason behind my growth. You know, like to say like, I'm going to be in a relationship now and not just pop and bop. You know, like it's like something that triggers you on the inside, like that awakens a different type of
It kind of sounds like that's the same thing.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
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 I feel like, it's just whenever they bring up those, like, whatever the first person was or whatever that, like, I don't want to say ruined it for everybody, but like instilled that, okay, I don't want that quality or this quality or that. But whenever the next person like has any part or looks any type of way of that, then it's like, all right, I don't wanna do that
to the
person.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that like
You put
kind
a
of
guard
like
up.
that kind of like taints it a little bit. You don't really give him a chance to like show himself.
Because you're now protecting yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's what the problem
Yeah.
is. I feel like whatever like it is that comes up, then it's just like, all right, on to the next.
Right.
You can go. Because
If you don't want to see anything further because
That's a
you've
problem.
already shown me something that was a trigger for you in the past.
Yeah.
Trigger.
Right.
Yeah.
That already didn't work.
Oh, red alert. Yeah.
Stop.
No. That's
I
a good
agree.
point. That's a good point. But I think all of that, like every experience plays an important role in your growth. So it's like you're constantly climbing a ladder, whether you want to see it that way or not. And sometimes you might have to step down a rung. You know, you might think that you're going forward, and then
kudos
being
to you
in that
for
person,
knowing the word for the ladder step.
It's a rung.
I didn't know that.
Rung.
I didn't know that.
Look,
so
I'm telling y'all, my
intrigued.
vocabulary is impeccable.
On point.
So if you step down a rung, like sometimes you have to accept that, like take that L, like it's okay. But hopefully you learn from that and you recognize like, okay, 2 steps down, 5 steps up.
Truth.
You know, so like you were saying, like if you recognize a quality in someone that you saw in someone before that you know didn't mesh with who you are as a person, you could be like, oh yeah, let me put you over here. I'm gonna keep climbing up.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. Yeah, I've been quick to sidestep a nigga. Thank you. Next. Lori Harvey these hoes.
Should have ducked lower.
Are y'all recording like right now?
Right now in this moment.
Are you recording? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any?
Oh.
And I'm recording on my phone.
Didn't know that. But yeah, that's what I think though.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good thought. And where to go what today?
Yeah.
You going to Bonte's?
Yeah. No.
Who?
No.
Oh, okay. No,
Still, I can't tell
always
apart.
check. Always know. And know the address. So you can pull up at any given time.
I tried to tie it in time.
I do not know the address, actually. I've never known the address. So I'm saying that.
You do that. Well, you know it's in Murphy.
Yeah, I do. I know where it's at. I got photographic memory, so we can pull up.
Oh, they're in
if need be.
Murphy? My parents in Murphy.
They are. Her parents are in Murphy. Like Wiley? Oh, but they're Murphy.
Wiley Murphy.
What's your name again?
Worthy.
As far as. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's the hubs. Okay.
Some basketball.
Okay. I'll
Don't
see
let them
you.
work
Be
too
kind
hard.
to yourself.
Okay, bye.
Especially this one.
I feel it all over my body.
Y'all later.
Bye.
Drive safe, okay?
All right, I'll speak.
Okay, bye.
Okay. I think that was really good. I
Yeah.
forgot about the triggers. The triggers that pull you back. Because there are triggers that pull me back.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay?
For sure.
Man.
Yeah.
As soon as something like reminds you of like a traumatic situation, it's you change it to a different person. Like you go back to the same person you were in that one moment, and you're like, oh, and you're like, wait, why did you fall back so hard? And that's really something to think about. Like, let's say,
Or even with other people where you didn't know what their triggers were. Is that what you're about to say?
yes,
And you're like, why are you acting? Why are you pulling back? Like I'm the same person, and you might have said or done something that might have put them in a place that they didn't want to be
back to a mentality, and they're like, and now I got to put you in this box because that's where I had to put this other person in order to protect myself. That's something. Wow.
But it's hard to convince someone that you're not like somebody else, or you're not like their past.
And you shouldn't convince. You can't. Yeah, you shouldn't try
Like your
to.
actions have to.
Yeah, nobody should convince you, right? Like nobody should convince me that they're not like my ex or like a man that I was dating. If anything, they just have to respect what I'm going through, be consistent, and if I change, cool, and if I don't, just
It
fall
wasn't
back.
meant to be.
Yeah, then just recognize where I'm at, and I'm not ready. And if anything, that's just really good for you, right? So I totally forgot about that. Man, we've been through that. I've been through like me being the person that like falls back, and I've been through a situation where somebody else has fallen back because of my actions, and it's like, oh, what do I do? I miss
in that
you,
situation.
and I'm sorry. I think I don't know.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's hard to admit that you might have been the reason or cause for someone to retreat. And like you were saying, like you can't try to like convince someone to change their mental once they've decided to retreat. Like they have to come to that conclusion on their own. But at the same time, it's like, dang, like what did I actually do? Like, should I be feeling like away? Like, was I actually wrong?
But that's
sometimes you are wrong.
We are,
and you gotta acknowledge that and take that L.
But you know what's really, I think what's really helpful to me is that I remember that, I don't know if I read it or if somebody told me, the way that people react to you and the things that people say to you, 9 times out of 10 have nothing to do with you and everything to do with themselves. And so when I take that thought process and that mindset over it, like oh, you're responding to me this way because of something that's going on with you, or you're, you know, pushing me away because of something that's going on with you, and it's not my fault.
You have to know the difference.
That's the healthiest way to deal with it, because if you internalize and you take that personally, you can end up changing for the worse, because you think that something's wrong with you when really somebody dogged them in the past. Somebody really hurt them in the past, and they're triggered by you, you know?
And they're not over it.
They're not. And that's a whole nother situation. That's a whole nother episode. They didn't deal with it well enough.
But if it's a repressed memory, they repressed it.
Yeah.
They didn't face it. So when you trigger them, it's like, oh, this is something that I put away, and you bring it out, and I ask you to bring it out. So now I feel uncomfortable, and it's sitting here in the living room, and I gotta look at it. I don't want to look at it.
I'm not about to
so
fight
it's
with
like
you.
one of those things. It's like if they didn't take it out the attic and face that before they got
into
it with you, then it's gonna become a problem eventually.
Truth.
And if they're not ready to face that, it's not for you to. It's not your responsibility to help them through that unless they want to.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Again, it goes back to communication.
It really does.
Communication is really the key to all things prosperous.
All things prosperous.
Nothing tumultuous.
I'm sipping on prosperity.
No, but I don't know.
No, I actually think that we made the point 3 times over. Fling or Ting, it's really all about your mentality, really about what you're ready for, and about what you have or have not let go of. And so I think that we hit those points in multiple facets, not just in like a relational like stance, but also outside of that.
I couldn't agree more.
So y'all stay tuned for our next podcasts. They're coming up very soon. Very, very soon. And we're going to have special guests. Now we're incorporating that.
I'm so excited.
And we're going to be doing some different events and activities within our city. We're in Dallas currently. But we're also going to be traveling. So
Stay tuned.
we're so excited. And hit us up with ideas. See you next time.